looking for a mirror, and I think I found it in your eyes. She's been looking for a reason.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Loki says hello as well. I don't know if you can hear him purring right now, but he is in my lap because, you know, why not? Loki always has to be around. But I'm doing a voiceover for this time lapse, and I think the time lapse is about 17 minutes of me organizing my 300 plus piece Marvel collection. And you guys saw me pretty much organize the DC collection and the Walking Dead collection and the hallway that's to my left there in the first 3 parts. And thank you guys for watching those. I didn't expect them to be so popular. Honestly, the first one I made was super popular, but I ended up stopping at this point where you see me in my Batman tank top there, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna organize my Marvel collection now. I'm on a roll, and it's been, I want to say, 2 weeks since I've been back in that room, and you'll see a costume change here, and it's because I think the last couple weeks, I mean, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation. I have been super depressed and super anxious. Like, a lot of things have been happening, and I've been coping in negative ways and positive ways. I haven't been really speaking to a lot of friends lately, and I've just been at work because I had a test that I had to take at work to qualify to do my job, and it really stressed me out. And you can tell that there are going to be times in this video where I literally stop. It's because I'm trying to fight through a mental barrier. And if you guys have followed my channel for any length of time or know me personally, you know that I do have sometimes it's severe depression and sometimes very, very bad anxiety. And usually what happens with me is when I get anxious about something, my system overloads itself, my brain overloads itself, and the next following days, once that anxiety is gone, my depression kicks in, and I literally have to sleep for like 2-3 days, and it kind of does ruin friendships and relationships with people at work, because, you know, everybody's going out doing stuff, and I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna stay here and sleep. And I did end up sleeping for like 12 hours a day, but when I woke up, I was like, I'm gonna organize this collection. And what you just saw there is me literally changing how I was gonna organize this collection. So originally I was going to organize the collection by movie. I thought that was going to be the simplest way because Marvel has so many movies, but it's actually the worst way to do it. Because at some point, there's too many conflicting characters. Like, because I said at one point that I was going to, you know, organize all the Avengers pops into their appropriate movies. But then you got Thor Ragnarok where, you know, Hulk is in it, and then you've got Spider-Man where Tony Stark's in it, so it's like, it was gonna get real confusing to me real quick. So I thought about organizing them by character, and there's so many characters. Unlike the DC collection, which you can see above on that top shelf, where literally 1 through, I want to say, when you hit Flash is like the first 13 characters in the DC movie universe based off the box. The Marvel collection doesn't have that, which is not a bad thing. I mean, they kind of do have it, and I could do it that way, but there's just so many characters, you know, in the Marvel collection. So what you see me doing here is organizing them by box number, and the stacks get kind of bigger and bigger as we go, but I decided to organize them 1 through, I believe I stop at like 448, which is the new Captain Marvel pops, but I'm stacking them based off of what 100th they fall into. So if they fall in from 0 to 100, I put them in a stack. 100 to 200, they got put into a stack. 200 to 300, put into a stack. 300 to 400, they got put into a stack, and so on, because if you have, I believe I counted it up, I think I have like 350 plus Marvel pops. That's a lot of pops to sit there and try to pluck out, you know, number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. So organizing it that way kind of helped my headspace a little bit in tackling this endeavor, because I just, at this point, I'm pretty much struggling at this point. I remember how my head felt. My head was hurting. And I was just literally like, this is taking forever. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I almost said screw it and just put all the Marvel Pops together, but I know why I was doing this, so that I can start completing the collection, and I need to know what's in my collection in order to do that. And putting them in order is what's gonna help me in the long run. So the process that you see me doing here is I'm stacking them, I want to say vertical like that, so that you see there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way to 90. That's how I started organizing the 1 through 100s. And it was not the best way to do it, because I ended up having a lot of pops fall over, because after a while I have to turn these facing forward so I can see them, and shifting them caused, you know, a ripple effect, and it happens all the time on my channel where I literally just have everything just fall over. And realizing it now that you guys don't see me, actually there was a pops just fell over right then and there, but I wasn't really paying attention to my camera angle because I was just trying to find the first 100 pops to put on this wall and organize through them. And once I felt like I had them all, I did start going through them and facing them forward. And see, that's where everything kind of fell over. And it was really like, my headspace was just so messed up at this point, where I was just like, don't give up. And I was literally just trying to fight through how I was feeling, because I was just like emotionally exhausted. And it depresses me even now talking about it, where it's just like, damn it, like I don't understand why I let it get to me. And then I kind of found a way to counteract what I had just done to where they didn't fall over again, so I could start facing them out the right way. And I would like to note that the number 1 and number 2 box for the Marvel collection is, of course, Thor and Loki from God of Thunder, and they are not in the collection because they are the oldest pops in my collection to date so far. So I was just like, they would be on the bottom, and I just didn't want them where they were. I do intend on one day having this entire collection out of the box. One day it will happen. When I have a house to where I can have a permanent display, I do intend on having a completely out of the box collection. But until that time, they have to stay in the box. Because during this process I was realizing how damaged some of these boxes were, just based off of like how long I've had this collection and just the moving and the organization and moving back and forth, that they're only going to get worse. I do intend on getting pop protectors for them, but that's going to be a very expensive endeavor. That's going to take me, I want to say, about a year to do, because unless I just make one big lump payment, because I'm trying to pay off a lot of bills right now. That's why you guys are seeing a lot of organizational videos instead of like what I got. Yes, I did go to Target Con and I did film a video. It was just not a good video because Loki, who is coming into the frame right now, actually ended up getting sick on camera, and I gave up at that point. I was like, I'm not doing this. And yeah, putting them all in protectors is going to be a huge endeavor. And I actually walked away at that point, because you could tell there's a different hair tie color in my hair, because I actually went and laid down in bed and fell asleep for about 3 hours, because my brain told me that's what I wanted to do. And then I woke up and I was wide awake and I was very depressed in my actions, and ended up going to Starbucks and waiting 45 minutes for them to open. Got myself a coffee and said, okay, I'm not leaving this room until I finish this process. And I know I was just talking about pop protectors, and there's a bunch of pop protectors there. The process of putting the entire collection in pop protectors is literally going to be an entire room remodel again. And I'm still working on the first initial room remodel because pop protectors add, I want to say, just like millimeters to the height of a pop, which means I would have to move those shelves completely. So until I get literally the number of pop protectors that I need for the collection, only the collections on the shelves are going to be put into pop protectors. So it's going to be a slow process for me because pop protectors are expensive. I want to say that even if I got them at the cheapest that you can get them, I would still have to spend at least $2 grand to put the entire collection in pop protectors. And it's just, it's a big investment to start off with, and most pops that I order off Mercari nowadays do come in pop protectors, which kind of helps a little bit. But as you can tell, I did take a bunch of pops out of pop protectors because they wouldn't have fit in my epicness of a wall. So this process right here, I just did the repeat. I'm doing everything from 99 to 200. I organized them again by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. And then I put them in order and just started stacking them. That's the process I use for every single stack. And it worked out better. After I did that first row, like, everything is trial and error. That's why I hope that you guys like watch through the entire video and listen to my process, because it can get kind of daunting after a while. And something that I keep noticing is I use like my whole body when I organize this collection. Like I use my foot, I use like my hips, and because I'm trying to make the collection as tight as possible. And I know everybody who's like, oh, those Polar Pops, those boxes, trust me, the boxes are good. And when I talk about, like, earlier I was talking about how I was worried about box condition because I was going to go out of box eventually and I don't really care anymore. I do still care about the longevity of the boxes because I would keep the boxes. It's just that some have been through hell because I've had them for so long. And I don't ever recommend picking up pops like that because I think I ended up squishing a box unintentionally. But you still keep seeing me do it. I just don't recommend it to my viewers. Especially if you're like really concerned about the longevity of your pops. But I think I'm finally to the point where I think it was there I crushed a box. I was just like, whatever. Because I'm definitely to the point where I really do want to take all these out of the box, and I've seen a lot of my YouTuber friends and, colleagues take them out of the box and then regret taking them out of the box. I do have an organizational system that I would use, and then you could tell right there that I found one and I had to redo the entire stack, and that's a story for another video. But I do intend on taking them all out of the box. It's just finding a way to do it, and I think I've said it to some of my friends at work that I literally have to have the entire room, floor to ceiling, and like double stacked. So imagine my whole room double stacked with pops completely in front of it, then they're all coming out of the box. Because I did have someone comment on one of my videos one day of like, oh, you're going to be so disappointed when, Funko crashes and, they're not worth anything anymore. I will never... Oh, they were talking about buyer's remorse and how I would regret it, and I don't think I'll ever regret buying these things because they've brought a lot of happiness to my life and a lot of chaos. Because, I've been talking about depression lately in this video, and I don't ever foresee myself getting rid of my collection. It's something that I'm very proud of, something that I dedicate a lot of time to, a lot of memories, a lot of sentimental value. There's some bad memories in it, but eventually it'll all come out of the box. When even if Funko was just like, no, we lost it. If they turned into the Beanie Baby thing, which I don't think it will, they'd all come out of the box. And I would still keep the boxes because there's still value behind them, especially some of the rare ones. They would just lose a little bit of value. But, and as you can see, I'm still pushing on them. Like, move over. At this point, I'm realizing that I'm getting closer and closer to the end of finishing this because I believe I set a timer because I was remembering what my life counselor had told me, that if I'm ever just like having a daunting task, to set a timer and see how long it takes me, because I was very upset with myself when I was done with it because it didn't take me that long to do. And I've literally been bedridden for 2 days, and it only took me, I think, an hour and 15 minutes to completely organize this collection. And I think that from now on, instead of, because I would organize and then talk to the camera, organize, talk to the camera, I think I will do more voiceovers from now on, because, or at least when you see these videos like this, because it would take me literally like 3 hours to organize my Batman collection, because I was explaining to the audience what was happening when I could literally just do it and explain afterwards and save a lot of time. And pops like to fall over, just so you know. I can't control it. It always happens to me. These pops like to fall over. But when I was at the home stretch, I was getting pretty happy, and I'm literally just like, okay, we gotta get this done because I want to vacuum this floor. Because I've been combating fleas in my apartment for the last couple weeks, and I didn't know if they managed to get into the Loki room, as I call it. Like, I need to make a... Yep, I'm exhausted. I'm just... I'm sorry. I just found 2 pops. That's... I just remembered that now. I did find more pops and Ego in the collection. That's why they're in front of the pops, because I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna restack this. I'll do a video on it later on how to restack your collection after you find new pops or don't organize properly to begin with, because that's one of the frustrating factors of collecting, is you find pops that you forgot, or they were hidden behind other pops, and or if you have a large collection, you just have so many pops, they just get lost in the sauce somewhere. So yeah, at this point I'm just trying to get everything up off the floor, because the room was going to come in here, and I was organizing everything because there was just crap everywhere, and I was throwing a lot of stuff into the Closet of Doom, too. But there's my Marvel collection, ladies and gentlemen, organized by number. Aside from those 1 or 2 pops that didn't make it into the collection, which I will probably do a face-to-face camera and explain to you guys how it's very easy to put them into the collection. It'll probably take me like 20 minutes to put those 3 pops into the collection. But I'd rather show you with a big move of pops rather than just 1 or 2, because I usually incorporate it, or I try to organize them in like 1 or 2, well, like 3 or 4 at a time, and not just with the 1 pop, if that makes sense. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you think, and I will hopefully see you guys again with another video next week.
And I think she found it in my mind. So we're moving this colorful night, and we're staying away from the crowd and under the lights. In a bottle, and now everything we're staying away from the crowd and under the lights.